Welcome back to Abscission. We're continuing left off of me finding the third evidence, which is what I was told at least by the developer, and I wanted to find out what more there is to the game is about the boots. We found a set of boot prints in her apartment. Okay, we don't, no is not to be there, but do you have any idea who they may belong to? I don't know. She had a few visitors, but I can't really remember them. She did have a boyfriend a couple of months back, some young punk with green hair and metal in his face. I think he wore some big leather boots. Do you remember his name? She called him Marky, so Mark something? I don't know his last name. There we go. It was just a start, but I need to find a surname. Alright. We got all three evidence that we need. See if we can actually leave now, because I want to see if there's more to this demo outside of this apartment room, which much people, didn't care. Okay, I need to discuss them with, I can't even remember her name. Her name now. It's been a while since I last played this. I was curious on just how much longer the demo was, since the reality was a lot of people didn't find the boot prints. Of all the times I moved my mouse cursor all around the place, I actually never saw the boot prints come up, so my bad on that part. Oh wait. I don't think I have to tell her about it. We have to combine the evidence. Clue name, Mark. It was a solid lead. I need to let Luna know. Mark Torrance, known to have spent time with Serena Kalinor in the last few months. Address unknown. So we got the suspect's name from the landlord. Oh. So this is going for a really old school, like, you really had to use your brain with what you have on you. I already knew I had a slim book, pocketbook containing names and stuff, and we were told the name Mark, so you had to put the two together really intelligently and I also didn't know this photo would have existed when the landlord said Mark. But yeah, combine that with the slim book, and then we got the full name. Now we can let her know. Mark Torrance. I found a name, Mark Torrance. He was involved with Serena. Great work. Can you follow that up for me tomorrow? I'm going to need to stay with forensics tonight to scour the apartment. Of course, make sure you get some sleep when you can. I had enough leads, and Luna could finish up here. It was time for me to get some sleep. Alright. Unfortunately, though, it's been fixed, but you won't be able to talk to that dude, Hogan, about the landlord. When you're interviewing the rest of the residents, see if there are any other observations about his behavior. Creeps like that rarely stay on the proper side of the decent. You got it, nice sir. Take care, Hogan. Because you can't talk to Hogan, unfortunately. But I mean, in my version you can't, but you can now. The night was unexpectedly calm. The air was was thick as soup, unmoving, clinging to my bones as I fell asleep in my easy chair. I guess you'll have to pause and read the rest. The dawn sunlight was bleached bone. It was around the time I was drinking my second cup of coffee that I realized I'd missed Abigail's birthday again. She probably hadn't noticed. I never had been much of a father, not that she'd ever really need me. Probably I would suggest making it so those story panel cutscenes don't move forward to the next page or next screen until I click. Wait. Also, are they doing a conversation without me clicking? No skin off my nose. I couldn't sleep. My daughter's had a puppy for her birthday and the poor thing... God damn it. I'm not clicking anything and it's skipping ahead. Please call me Timur. I know we're at work, but there's no one else here. Why are you always so formal? If a person earns a doctorate, it should be respected in my view. Please tell my wife that next time you're over for dinner. Now we'll see how that goes. Shall we get started? Certainly. Do you have a time of death? That's a difficult question to answer. Looking at the relative lack of cloudiness within the corneas, I would place the time of death at between 8 and 9 p.m. yesterday. That fits with the statement from the landlord. But the livor mortis, the lividity of the blood as it pools under the skin, places the death at 2 or 3 days ago. And then there's the soft tissue, both attached to the corpse and separate. There are aspects of necrosis that could place the time of death at a week ago. How is that possible? So she was killed but then kept alive? Or... killed or kept alive, or... horrible things and kept alive. What was the cause of death? From the scattering of the organs, you would assume a swift death due to blood loss and trauma, at least. That was my first assessment, but the timings don't match. The lungs are relatively fresh. I mean, I wouldn't want to put them on my pizza. I mean to say that, judging from the lack of necrosis, they largely match the time of death measured through the corneal cloudiness. The liver, however, is in a very poor state. The tissue is degrading and necrotizing at an alarming rate. Similarly, some of the skin around her stomach also carries the same sponginess, for lack of a better word. Perhaps it could be caused by some kind of acid. Maybe, if she was submerged in a bath of a corrosive agent, acid, or alkali, it could, but no. The skin of her legs, while showing lividity, is relatively well preserved. It's as if parts of her body were long dead whilst she was still alive. Honestly, it's a little disconcerting. Or disconcerting? Disconcerting? Perhaps it would affect me more if I'd had some sleep. Everything is a little vague. Have you analyzed the glass shard? Was it the murder weapon? Can't say for sure. Looking at the chest cavity and stomach, the skin doesn't seem to be cut. It is more like a series of tears. To be honest, the skin is in such a bad condition that it could have probably been pulled apart by someone's hands. Unbelievable, and yet true. With regards to the glass, the majority of the blood matches the blood type of the victim. However, there was another type. I've sent a sample to the database to be checked again against existing DNA profiles. Maybe you'll get a match. Thank you. What about the rope? Rope. Oh yes, of course I have a small section of it here. Where's the rest of it? On ice. You'll see why. The hell am I looking at? I knew it wasn't fucking rope. I wish I knew. I've sent a piece for DNA analysis, but it will take a day or two. It's organic matter, fleshy yet run through with fibers, rather like cooked celery. It's as if a vine were crossed with a digestive tract. It has a rather tough exterior, but the insides are almost liquid. I'm aware how it sounds. Please inspect it. Tell me what you think. I'm no doctor. I hardly think that matters with this substance. This appears torn. I tried to cut it with a scalpel, but there are strong strands running beneath the surface. It was like working around knots in wood. This was the best I could do. These strands, are they growing? Apparently so. I'll be freezing this section soon, believe me. So organic matter that grows, clings, and possibly feeds on the bodies, but only certain areas? The bulgy. It's moving. It's fascinating, isn't it? And watch this, if I use a pin to agitate it. Oh. Another strand. Good lord. It appears soft on the surface. Sometimes. What do you mean? It shivers on occasion, a ripple that tenses the surface, a spasm of sorts. I don't know what to make of this, or any of it. Why are you even taking the case? You're Vice. Luna asked me, and I have the time. Do you? I'll make the time. If you say so. I'm going to the office. Can you fax the completed report to me? Of course, it'll be done within the hour. Before you go, there's just one more thing. It might be nothing, but it struck me a little too curious. The victim has a tattoo. Maybe not, but it was quite recent, and the flesh was inflamed as if it were infected. It was a diamond, bright red, on the inside of her left wrist. Is that where the growth started? Perhaps she was injected then by the tattoo artist, and the thing grew out of her body, and then roped her, and shit like that. Please look after yourself. Will do, I'll be in touch. Yes. Detective Stanhope, it's Officer Braintree, Dan Braintree. Sorry, sir, but a letter was delivered to you by hand this morning. I left it by your computer. I see. Should I have left it on your other desk with the lamp? I'm sure I'll find it. Is there anything else? Yes, sir. 2 messages. The first is from Officer Hogan. He said that, as per your instructions last night, they canvassed the building about the landlord's behavior. Apparently, a Miss Lucille Beaumont complained of her inappropriate comments and missing underwear. Anyway, a pair of panties was found in Laidlaw's apartment. Miss Beaumont confirmed they were hers, and, well, whether he turns out to be involved in the murder or not, he's going to be charged with harassment. Great spot, detective. And I do also have a message from Officer Bruce. He said to say that he apologizes for any way he spoke to you last night. Issues at home, apparently. He would have told you himself, but he's not on until tonight. Oh, that's good to know. Thanks, Braintree. I realized it was raining, odd for this time of year, but then there was nothing about today that felt right. That rope that had bound Serena Kalinor held her to the wall like a fly in a web. What the hell could it be? I tried to put it out of my mind. Abdulov was the best person to work that out. I had my own leads and it was time to follow them up. Let's get some water. I'm thirsty. No? You're not thirsty? I had a water cooler by my desk, though I rarely used it. So what is this supposed to be? Oh. It was a letter in a manila envelope. The only writing on the outside was my name in handwriting. I didn't recognize it. I carefully opened the envelope and slipped the letter out. It was drawn in what appeared to be red wax on a thick paper or papyrus. There was a diamond in the center with jagged edges, a strange cluster of symbols surrounding it, perhaps an alphabet of some kind. As long as it's not whatever is infecting and not to touch it. There seems to be a symbol near one of the corners, obscured by what appears to be charcoal. I decided to try to rub the powder away. No! I saw that coming. Something had cut into me, but that made no sense. I fucking warned you, man. I was like, yeah, don't touch that shit. You're hearing the pulsing sound. It's like, do you not hear it? Do you not hear it? Well, you're fucked. You're fucked now. I can now see a needle woven into the fibers of the sketch. Why hadn't I seen it before? I shook my head. At my failure of observation, I was not repaying Luna's faith in me so far. I washed the blood away and folded the letter back up. I knew I needed to look into who had sent it to me, but I had more pressing issues at the time. You're fucked, dude. I shouldn't have touched that fucking letter, but I don't think we have a choice. I think we had to get jabbed. Well, my own theory, which if this guy was smart, he'd probably have at least a theory like mine of... You know, it's red shit, it's probably fluid, and then it turns solid. And he just jabbed himself with what I presume to be the fucking gunk, but instead of it being a tattoo artist, we got jabbed by, you know, a needle rather than a fucking tattoo needle. Fantastic. A small selection of books on criminology with some historical references, books, and the occasional novel. Is my filing cabinet containing both current and solved cases. It was a matter of pride that the solved cases should outnumber the unsolved. It was my standard issue APD database. I preferred filing cabinets, but I suppose you have to move with the times. Drinks. It was my drinks cabinet, mainly a selection of blended whiskeys that I didn't mind having stolen. Weird. Along with a couple of particularly choice brands that he wouldn't want stolen. My closet, there were no skeletons in there. There were a lot of old shoes, though. Ashfield. Nothing interesting in there. Can we get a drink? Didn't need anything. How about the computer? Commands, address name, address name, record name, display, criminal. I guess we could do the, how do we get out of here, though? It was marked something. Let's see. Mark Torrance. Mark Torrance, 1987, drunk and disorderly, 150 hours community service. This was hardly the record of a career criminal, but that often meant nothing when it came to violent crime, sadly. Oh, oops. If I knew the name of the landlord or remembered that shit, then, yeah. I'm sure I could put it in the database. Oh no, I don't want to stab myself again! Oh, I'm gonna prick myself again? It's like, what if I try it again? Well, I stabbed myself again. You just have to look at the needle, though. It re-hides. It's like, I mean, I'm sure people will be just like, it was just like the fucking shit from Spider-Man. What is it? The symbiotes. Probably similar to that. In a way, possibly. Details from my previous case, a cocaine-dealing ring were pinned up on the board. Dato. Abigail. Hello, Abby, how are you? Dad? Fine, I guess, and you? Fine. I closed my eyes. I'm sorry I forgot your birthday. That's okay, I know you're busy. Matt says hi, by the way. Good, good, he's a good guy. I'm glad you think so. I mean, you've only met him once. I know. I won't keep you. I just wanted to know I was thinking of you. That's nice to know, I guess. Take care, Abby. Oof. You've reached Detective Ben of APD. Leave a message. I still had Ben on speed dial. I couldn't bring myself to get rid of it. You've reached the office of Dr. Tamir. Okay. Amelia. Sorry, Will. I was just trying to get some sleep. I didn't get in until 8 AM. I'll be back on duty later. I'll keep chasing leads. Okay. Guess that's all I need to do. No more phone calls. Interesting then. We have a whole section entirely for calling up and trying to get more leads by calling specific people. Which may or may not be, helpful at all. There could be more things I could do here. Oh god, even a map. And clearly I'm thinking this is a reference to Silent Hill. Stanhope can explore Ashfield using his map. Look at locations for a description and use location to go there. Stanhope's office. Starlit. Yeah. Damn, we even get over here. This demo is larger than expected. The door to the gallery was locked. Hey, hello, miss. No ignoring me, please. Could I have a moment of your time, then? What for? I don't know you, and I don't want to. Fuck off. I'm APD detective. Well then, fuck off, Detective Stanhope. Her body was shaking with barely held emotion. It seemed that the news of Serena Calinor's death had already made its way here. I know this is a difficult time, ma'am. I just want to ask you a few questions, and I'll be out of your hair. Fine. Thank you. Can I ask your name? It's Hugh Mei Ying. Call me that. Okay. How long have you known her? Since last year, sort of. What do you mean? She was looking to move up here as an artist, and I was looking for a partner to run the business. She seemed like a good fit. We had a few phone calls before she moved. Where did she move from? New York. She said that she couldn't find a way to stand out there. Too many artists. Sounds about right. What was she like? Her personality, her interests. I didn't know her that long. Help me out here. You ran a gallery together. She seemed to be considering her words. I suppose she was a pretty fragile person at first, anyway. Fragile in what way? Emotionally? Socially. She seemed to find conversation a chore. Not a chore, more like a test. You could almost hear her brain analyzing every little thing. That sounds like me. Everything is analyzed. She'd ask me these dumb questions like she'd never spoken to anyone before. What's your favorite cat? Well, I mean, I wouldn't do that. That kind of analytical, I think, is kind of fucking pointless. A smile crosses her lips before quickly becoming swallowed once more. It used to piss me off. I thought I'd made a huge mistake in hiring her, but then she got past it and things got better. I think it's a self-defensive mechanism in her case. She seemed to stop caring, her questions became a joke. Maybe she got to know you, felt less nervous. Maybe, but it was a sudden, over one day after her birthday. June 14th, I think. After that day, it was like she was a different person. June. How many weeks or months ago did the doctor say that some part of her body was it rigor mortis? I'd have to double check with a doctor or even just look at my recording again. Might match that when she changed is when she got the tattoo and things began to change and parts of her started dying. Was she in trouble? Not with regards to money, that's for sure. Her paintings do well, especially her newer ones. Why do you think that is? It's the colors, I think, and the form. Her eyes glaze over for a second. I don't know, they've got this energy. What about outside of work? Any personal issues? I can't think of anything. No. We done here? I didn't need to be a detective to know she was hiding something. I had to be careful to pick the right approach. Shit, let me double check the words. Detail-oriented would probably piss her off. Sociable. Driven. We're not going to do driven for obvious reasons. Detail-oriented would probably push her, given the circumstances. So either we'll talk calmly, or sociably. Sanguine or phlegmatic? It really depends on that. Like, I'm not really good with the 4 temperaments and sort of knowing specific detail of if he were to respond calmly in a phlegmatic way, what would that pinpoint mean? I only have like a vague interpretation of what it could entail, but nothing like mathematically or nothing with absolutism, which is why I'm a little... Calm and sociable could be the exact same thing to me, but sanguine and phlegmatic are different. I'll just do calm then. Anything you can remember, no matter how small, could help. I told you I don't remember anything. Take my number in case, maybe something will jog your memory. I gave her my card, but I doubted she would call. Perhaps my hunch was wrong. Do you know Mark Turns? I met him a few times when he and Serena went out. Seemed like a waste of space to me. I always thought she could do better. Glad she realized it herself in the end. Is he mixed up in this? I'm just gathering facts at the moment. Have you seen him recently? No, not for at least a month. He might be the one who... If he does the tattoos, I'm going to presume he might. A dude with green hair? Probably a dude that's punk, or probably someone that's also involved in tattoo scene, rebel scene, punk rock, that kind of stuff. It would probably match. Let's see if there's... Yeah, I can't re-choose. Maybe if I would have picked one of the more appropriate answers or would have pushed her. But I would imagine pushing her would make her shut down. So, you never know what's going to be right. Tell me about that day, her birthday. I saw her in the night. We went to a club. It was her suggestion, which was a surprise. I think she'd already been drinking or had just something else. She was high as fuck. She never seemed to really come down after that. Did she tell you what she's done in the day? She spent the day with Mark, got some clothes, jewelry, and even a tattoo. Yeah, I think she'd wanted to impress Mark. She was really happy with it. She said she was with Mark and she got it. But what do you mean impress Mark? Do you know where she got it? I know there are a few studios in Hopper, Berwick, and Tawny Heights, but it could have been any of them. That's good enough of a clue. That's good enough of a lead if we checked every single one of them, but thank God there's only 3 choices. Whichever one looks much fucking sketchiest. See you around, detective. I mean, that sounds hopeful. Maybe if I show her to the evidence. No? Well, I guess we get to leave. And... apartment or office? I guess we could go to the apartment. Because I was going to assume the demo will actually at least end soon enough. My apartment, I wouldn't call it a home or a place where I had to sleep. Oh, jeez. There were various assorted items in here that didn't really fit anywhere else. I took my, trusty screw hitch drive. That'd be very useful for sure. You could easily miss that for sure. Guess you could say I found another bug. She's not at the desk anymore, but young woman is the chair now. So I'm not sure where else I can go from here. pretty much going to be, I guess, done at all. So there's probably something I need to do with the evidence. Because I need to figure out either an address, because I did look at my recording. I stopped it briefly just so I could see, and she says there are a few studios in Hopper, Berwick, and Tawny Heights, but I don't have a specific thing. I try to use those addresses or just those areas in the computer, but it didn't come up with anything. And I tried to type her name in the computer and it didn't come up with anything. As far as I know, I also can't combine any of these, and I likely cannot even show it to her. Like, I tried showing her these things, but actually, maybe I should type up Serena Kalinor. I'll try these two names and see if there's an address I can look up. I'm gonna think maybe that's the next thing I gotta do. Alright, I even tried Carl Laidlaw, but it's not showing up. I tried Serena Kalinor. I tried the girl at the station. I tried the landlord. Nothing's showing up. So, address name. Display address if recorded. I don't know. I'd assume I have to find an address to go to a new location, but I have no idea, man. So I'm just gonna be saying stuck here. Whatever. I gave another part too. There's definitely more to the demo. Presuming there's an end to the demo, or if this is just like the full game and it doesn't end, it's just you run out of things you can do. You never really know with demos that could be like that, where it's just like it's incomplete and they didn't polish a demo to have like a certain ending. It's just, you know, that you can't do anymore and that's it. There's nothing special, like they didn't prepare for an ending to happen, or they didn't prepare for that's the end of the demo, thank you, and they just sort of throw out what's been done so far, or a certain version of the game, but then there's like, you know, a newer version that they're working on, and this is just an older version that ends at a certain point. Just sort of just cuts off at a certain point. Like right now, maybe. But right now I feel like there might be something, but who knows. I need a location and names, but the ones I have so far, I don't know, not working. So who knows? Either that or I messed up, but I wouldn't think there'd be a soft lock on the girl at the location I was just at, of using the wrong 4 temperaments to get more answers from her. Like in the full game, you might be fucked in terms of getting the full details or maybe the best ending, but for a demo, you shouldn't be soft locked. Unlike games made in the 90s like this, oh, you can get soft locked all the time. Either way, leave it here. Hope you enjoyed part 2 and the extra content that the demo had contained. There could be a lot more content, or even maybe 5-10 minutes more. I don't know, but I still hope that you enjoyed part 2 nonetheless. If you did enjoy, please leave a like, comment, hit that subscribe button, become a full subscriber, hit the notification down below for updates on my videos. Thank you for watching. Until the next time.